Hi guys. So I was asked to do a nail stamping tutorial because I do nail stamping all the time and I post the images and people seem to like them. So decided I'm going to start with something simple. I was going to do a ombre nail stamping, but then I decided let's start off with something simple. Maybe the next video, if I get enough feedback from this one, will be an ombre stamping. Maybe I'll actually do a glow in the dark stamping. There's tons of different things. I also do water marblings. So there's all kinds of techniques that I use as I do my nails. I do not like plain nails. I do not like them. Sam, I am. So I don't like them. So I make sure that my nails are always on point. That said, my nails are not always the same size. So this hand seems to be grasping onto the growing concept this month. And this one, I keep breaking nails. I'm one of those that if I break a nail on one finger, I will cut the rest of them because they're just nails. They will grow back. And it really looks silly to me when people walk around with, one broken nail and the rest of them are long. It's just cut them. It's just, they will grow back. That's just what happens. My thumbs always have problems growing all the way. So anyway, so this is how I've prepared so far for my nails. So what do I have here? Of course, I start off with a strengthening base coat. I always use this Healthy Hoof. This is a protein treatment that I put around my nails because when you remove the nail polish remover can really, this is what it looks like on the inside. The nail polish remover can really dry your nails out, so you'll end up getting hangnails. And so I use this to protect my nails as I'm removing nail polish. So I use that as well. Then, of course, whatever nail polish you're choosing to use. This particular time I chose Wet n Wild. And don't see a name on, oh, here it is. On a Trip is the name of this one. All right, so what do I have to do my stamping with? I have my stamper. This is an old stamper. As you can see, it's gotten a lot of use. I've been stamping for years, and it's also got an extra one at the bottom, which is slightly different. I've been using this stamper for years, and I have other ones, but this is just my favorite. I really should do something about what it looks like on the outside, maybe decorate it, but as you can see, it's going to end up getting messed up anyway, so it's not really about the looks of the stamper. It really is about the functionality, so I usually don't bother with that. Next, I have various nail stamping polishes. Sorry about that. Nail stamping polishes. This one, these are Bones and Black because I figured they'd be good for a good Halloween stamping. I have tons of colors. I have oranges, I have blues, teals, pinks, golds. I have all kinds. You really should use a stamping polish when you're stamping. If you do not use a stamping polish, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get a decent stamp, sometimes you won't. So I don't want to play around and try to figure it out and buy polishes that I may not need. Trust me, I have plenty. But so I always use a stamping polish. It doesn't have to be this one. This one is Mundo de Uñas, and it is from Mexico. I just get them delivered. They actually, even on the side, they have these little pads where you can actually place stamp on there, so you can see what color, how the stamp is going to look on the different backgrounds. Then I have something called Cuticle Nails, which is what I have here on my middle finger. And I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is something that just allows you to paint and just peel off your mistakes. I'll tell you the truth, I don't always use this. I don't like the fact that it takes so long to dry. Even if the more expensive ones, I want to get going. And so sometimes I'll just do it and I'll clean my nails off afterwards. But for those of you who do want to use this, I found this on Amazon. Of course, we have nail file situation going on here. You will need some kind of tape. Excuse me. For the purposes of stamping, I usually use a lint roller. It is very simple to use. As you can see, I've already cleaned off my stamper. So what ends up happening is you'll get some stamping on here. You're going to want to clean it off before you move on to the next. So this is what I use. Some people use regular tape. I use that. It's just easier for me. Any kind of scraper. I use an old credit card. Some businesses that send you these things will also send you a scraper. I like the sturdiness. The scrapers that they send might be a little more flimsy, and I like the sturdiness of this. That said, it's just something that I like, so it's just a preference. And you will need a stamping plate. In this case, I have all kinds of Halloween designs on here. I haven't decided what I'm going to use. I have a book full of stamps, stamping plates, so I could have as many as I want. As far as designs go on my fingers, I could use different designs, or I could use the same design, whatever. That said, what is this? This is my Miracle Mat. This Miracle Mat is amazing in that it allows you to test your different size fingers as far as what you're stamping. So you might want to stamp here and see what it looks like. Sometimes I will put the base coat down here, and then so let's say I'm sorry, not the base coat, but the base color here. I'll put, let's say, the purple down, let it dry, and then I'll stamp over top of it to see what my stamping is going to look like. And as you see, it has different sizes for different fingers. Sometimes once it's dry also on this stamper, you can peel it off and apply it to your nail by applying a clear coat of polish, which will make it sort of adhere, and then putting the design on there and then just cutting off the edges. This stamping plate, this Miracle Mat is also great because it has all of these circles here. These circles can allow you to make all kinds of designs outside of stamping, including watercolor, acrylic, glitter. So it can hold all kinds of stuff in here. Maybe I want to put some charms in there, right? So maybe I just want a little bit of acetone so I could keep using a brush to clean off my edges. So it contains whatever's on there. So that's what I use this for. And of course, here we have where you can see what it looks like, black and white. And this is where you do the ones with your other colors if you'd like. So let's get started on these uneven nails. We'll see what turns out. I may not like it, and sometimes I don't, and I start all over again. So again, these are purple nails on which I am going to do a Halloween stamping. Haven't decided which one yet. Don't know how fancy I want to get with this first tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do is make sure that my stamper is clean. So I always make sure, because it can get lint and things of that nature on that. The stampers that I have are all kinds of different stampers from all different kinds of companies. Had it so long, literally years. But I like the clear stampers because you can see exactly where you're laying your item, right? So I love the clear stampers. That's my preference. So let's see what I want to do here. So you'll also want to keep next to you something to clean off your stamping plate every time you put on stamping color on there. So it has to be a quick cleanup, because the stuff will dry out quickly. And also you need to stamp quickly because the polish can dry quickly. I use this particular type of sheet to clean up with, or there are these exfoliating pads. Let me show you one of them. These exfoliating pads for faces that I get from CVS or whatever. I also use those for cleaning. So these tend to get a little more messy than this. This is actually from towels for the bathroom, the disposable towels from the bathroom made by Scott. So I just happen to like it. It doesn't absorb as much nail polish remover, so there's less waste. If I put this on there, it's going to absorb a lot, and by the time I get to use it all, it'll probably be dried up. So I use both, just test out which one I like better at that day, or sometimes it also, the temperature that you're working in, I'm outside, so the temperature is going to be a little warmer, because it happens to be a warmer day, and so my stamping might dry out quickly. All right. Any questions? Okay. Got that? Anyway, so the first thing you want to do, of course, is make sure that your nails are polished. I might as well peel this off. Make sure that they're polished and covered with a top coat. It makes it easier if you need to clean up. This particular top coat is a quick drying top coat. If you are an old head to the nail world or the manicure world, you know this brand. Use it religiously, and it dries out pretty quickly, meaning that it also dries out quickly in the bottle. So I do have thinning drops that I got from KB Shimmer that extend the life of this product. So again, nail polish, top coat, wait for it to dry, and with this product it'll dry literally in 30 seconds. If you'd like, the next thing you're going to want to do is use this beautiful Cuticle Nails masking fluid to go around the edges of your nail. I find this a bit cumbersome at times, and then you have to wait for it to dry, so I don't always use it. I'm using it for the purposes of this tutorial because there may be some of you out there that would prefer this. You can put it on the edge, sort of make a seal around your full nail. And I'm starting with this hand first, even though it is the shorter nails, because I'm left-handed. And so it's just easier for me to do this hand. This particular Cuticle nail stuff has to be sealed very tightly, or the stuff will dry out, obviously, because it's going to dry it on your hands. So the thicker it is, obviously, the longer it's going to take to dry. For me, it's not that serious. Sometimes I just prefer to, like I mentioned earlier, just clean up the edges later without having used this. But just keep in mind that if you're using something like this, the thicker you lay it on, the longer you're going to have to wait for it to dry before you can actually do the painting. If you get it on the nail, you can just peel it off. However, you can also use it sort of as to make a design. So if you have this, you see the actual brush on this is kind of thick, but if you were to put it on with sort of like a painting brush or a design brush, you could actually make a design in this on top of your nail polish, right on the nail bed, and then paint a polish over it, and it's going to act sort of like that painter's tape. When you peel it off, it's going to show the design underneath. Maybe I'll do that in another tutorial. All right, so now that my nails are fully covered on the edges here, we're going to wait for them to dry. So now my nails are dry. Sorry about that. All right, so now my the nails are dry as far as the masking stuff is concerned. But I did also want to tell you, in case you're interested in this mat, I got it off of a company called Bliss Kiss, but I think I got it from Amazon. Again, it's been years since I bought it. As you can tell, it's been used quite frequently. Bliss Kiss is the name of the company, and either you can find it on their website or on Amazon. I just put in Miracle Mat and I was able to find something. I'm pretty sure that's how I did it. All right, so now I have my stamping colors. Not sure if I want to do a double color or just one color. So let's start off with just the white. You want to, with any stamping, by the way, be careful when you put this on, touching the fingers, because it will lift up the masking fluid. Some people like to do just one nail at a time, but I ain't got time for that. So make sure that these are shaken up very, very well. It's a different type of texture than a normal polish. So it's going to be thicker. It's going to dry quicker. It's just made for stamping. All right, so it dries on kind of matte. I'm taking it out. I am going to use, let's see, what do I want to do? I want to do this Boo plate here. I put a little on the edge there. You're going to want to swipe at an angle, so it's not going to be completely flat. You're not going to take it and swipe it immediately one direction. So that picked up very well, and I'm just like shocked how well it picked up, because I didn't do the swiping as well as I should have. So anyway, so what you're gonna do as you're picking up is roll it, not press down. If you press down, it's only going to pick up part of it. It's going to not actually get in the grooves properly. This is actually picking it up very well. You roll it against that, and then you decide which nail you're going to put it on. You're going to decide what part of this stamp you're going to want on your nail. So I'm just going to, again, this is a rolling technique. You're going to roll it on. Really though, I waited too long. You know, I would crop that out of the video, but I want you guys to see what happens when you wait too long as you're talking through this. Sometimes the stamping polish will dry so quickly that you won't be able to get it on your finger. So I'm going to stop yammer-yammering. But that was a good example of what happens when you yammer-yammer as you're doing your videos or your stamping. All right, so I'm cleaning it off. It actually picked up the whole design here. And I messed up my thumbnail. I should probably leave it off my thumbnail because thumb is going to get a lot of use. All right, so the thing you're going to want to do next is make sure that before you restamp, your plate is clean, right? You don't want that old dry stuff in there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to press firmly as I'm cleaning, and then make sure it's dry. Then I'm going to move on and stamp again. So I'm going to do the boo. If you're stamping different colors as well, you're going to want to clean the scraper off as well between. So there, I got that one quick swipe. I pick up, it picked up quickly. I'm going to put it on this nail here, and it has picked up the design. Now I'm going to peel off the edges so you guys can see. It leaves it clean. So there was a little spot there that I think I didn't put enough tape on, but it leaves it clean. And you're going to want to cover this with a top coat, obviously, because if not, it will come off very easily. It's a different type of texture, so it looks kind of matte, and if I scrape it right now, the color will come off. So you're going to want to top it with a top coat, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to keep on moving on with the other nails. What did I do with my cleaner? Here it is. I don't know if you guys can see it on the video, but this, I told you guys that this thing tends to absorb a lot more, and so it's taking a lot longer to clean the plate because it's not drying properly, because it picked up a lot of nail polish remover. I don't even know why I picked that up. I told you guys I wasn't. So again, we're going to clean off, and we're going to put the stamping polish on. Maybe I'll put a little black on. No, yeah, I'll put a little black on this one. These were pre-shaken, just so you know. And taking the same design. I may not use the same portion of the actual design on my nail. I'm going to make sure this is clean. And then I'm going to, again, on an angle, not straight up. I'm going to pick up the design. Oh my gosh, look how pretty it picked up the design. Again, rolling it. And then you're going to decide where on your nails you're going to put this design. Because you can see directly through here, I can just press the design onto my nail. And there we go. Then I can remove. Leaves you with a pretty clean nail there. So I don't have to now follow up with nail polish remover and further dry out my cuticles. All right. Cleaning off my stamper on the tape. And I think that I want to do the rest of them in white because they are ghosts. And who wants to see a black ghost? Well, maybe some people, but not me on this particular polish. So we'll keep on moving on. Again, it really soaked up a lot of polish. I'm glad that I'm leaving some of these mess ups in the video so that you guys can see what the struggle is. So again, we have to clean off this plate and the scraping tool, whichever you choose to use, whether it's an actual scraping tool or a credit card of some sort. Put on the color. You don't really have to put on a lot. You scrape once or however many times until you get the desired cleanliness on your plate. I have my design there, and I'm going to roll. Again, rolling is really the key there. I've had people tell me they have problems stamping. Sometimes it's the stamper, and sometimes it's the technique. It took me a long time to get this right. You also will need to, which I will put in a different video, you will also need to prime your stamper. You get stampers and they don't pick up, it's because it needs to be primed. But I'll give another video on that if you guys want, on how to prime your stamper. Because if you're having problems picking up design, it may not be you. It could be the stamper, it could be the polish, it could be the technique, or it could be that you bought a stamping plate which was not etched deep enough. So I try to stay away from the super cheap plates, but because if it's not etched deep enough, you're not going to get a good transfer. So again, I guess I'll just do one hand on this video. It's just taking forever anyway. Scrape it, pick it up by rolling, and then I haven't decided which one I want to use. I guess I'll use this blue one. Looks sort of like my other nail. Clean off my stamper again by just pressing it against one of these. And then I guess I can do my thumb now. So I've done most of my nails. So this video is about over, huh? I feel like there's so much more I need to share with you guys. But it'll come in a future video if you're interested. If there's no interest and I don't get any views on this, what would be the point to continue? So I'm just letting you guys know. If there's no views or comments or likes on this, then I'll take it from you guys that you don't want to see this. Again, I'm doing this based on someone's request. And then I'm going to do the thumb. And remember, on the thumb, I took off the masking fluid. So we'll see what ends up happening with the masking fluid. Roll it, without the masking fluid. And then decide where you're going to want to put your design. And here you go. So you end up with these little designs on the edge, and depending on the plate, because I have some plates that the design is huge. Let me show you. I have a whole book of plates here next to me, where you might pick up more of the design than you really wanted to. And in that case, I'm sorry, I had to get up so I could see if that actually was showing it. In that case, you're going to get a lot more on your finger than just that little bit there. Oops, let me see if I can focus in. So that's just a little bit there. But if you use a bigger plate where the design is huge, you're going to have a messy finger if you don't use this stuff. And again, sometimes I don't care. But the problem with not using this stuff is that you're going to end up drying out your cuticles if you use too much nail polish remover on your fingernails. So it's meant to clean off polish, not to scrape, edge of other color on there. Sometimes, now that I'm doing this, I thought of a tip. Sometimes it's best to go ahead and put the top coat on before you start cleaning off the edges if you're not that great at cleaning off the edges, because you might actually touch the design and you don't want that, obviously, because then it will erase the design. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put the top coat on. Simple. It really doesn't take a lot of time. I know someone had told me recently, some of us have young children and we don't have the time to do the stamping. And look, I get it. I understand. I've had young children before. They're grown now, but and so I'm not, going to say that, this is not going to take some time. It is. But it really is, in the grand scheme of things, pretty quick to do. And now once this dries up, I will be able to get the other corners here, and I will follow up with this Healthy Hoof cuticle cream to ensure that I don't get any hang nails or anything like that. So that's it for my quick nail stamping tutorial. Yeah, I have other nails to do, and so I don't want to bore you with the same process over again. Again, very important, make sure that your tools are clean. That goes for before, even after you're done. So if you're done, you're going to want to make sure that the stamping plate that you put away is clean, because what ends up happening sometimes is that it becomes harder to clean if you leave the stuff in there. You can see from my my Miracle Mat here, this is all stamping color, and eventually it will stain stuff. And on some of my plates, I just can't even get this stuff out no matter how hard I try, because I've let it sit too long. Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. If you're feeling this type of, I was going to call it a demo since that's what I usually do, tutorial, let me know, and then I'll continue to do them. I can tell if there's no response that you're basically not interested, so I won't do any more, because it's easier for me to do my nails without having to do a tutorial. So well, that's it for today's. And again, you can get this Miracle Mat. It's by Bliss Kiss, and I think I got it on Amazon. This stamper, particular stamper, came from a site called Born Pretty, but there are tons of stampers out there that are wonderful. I like the clear ones. There are stampers that are not clear. I prefer not to use those because I can't see exactly where the design is going onto my nail. I mean, it's just common sense to me. Why would I ever have a not clear stamper? I liked this one because it was sort of like had the two ends here. This one is kind of smaller than the other one. And this Cuticle Nails Manicure Masking Fluid I got on Amazon. This Healthy Hoof, I got this actually at Sally's Beauty Supply, I believe. So everything else is normal product that you can get anywhere. Such a Vite, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. This I get at a drugstore. It usually costs about $8 or $9, but usually can find these buy one get one free, and that's when I purchase them. And my particular stamping ink choice is Mundo de Uñas from Mexico. They have tons and tons of colors. The pickup is amazing, as you can see, because also if you're not picking up properly, it could be that you're not using the right kind of polish. Either you're not using stamping polish, or you found a polish, let's say you wanted to use Sinful Colors. Some of them work and some of them don't. So sometimes it's not going to be your fault. So don't always blame yourself. I choose not to use these. I ain't got time to waste. I know that this is going to work. I know this particular brand is amazing. And so I use Mundo de Uñas, and when I run out, even if I'm broke, I make sure I have some of these on tap. So I make sure I buy more because this is just, it saves a lot of time when you have a stamping polish that actually works and there's no guessing. All right, guys, that's it for this tutorial, and let me know if you are interested in seeing more. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.